From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. With Gina Grad on news and Bald Bryan on sound effects, plus a hooray for Baldywood movie roundup, and we'll play the Rotten Tomatoes game. And now, the only thing he's a stan about are Stanley tools. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice, but got a minute to get it on. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
Handball, Brian.
So I guess I have to fuck him.
Oh,
Chris,
boy.
Your mic is hot.
Hot mic. All right. Well, I was watching the Italian Job over the weekend.
Remake.
And, yeah, remake. And
It's a good movie. It's a solid movie.
Yeah, it's solid.
Is that a different movie than Gone in 60 Seconds?
Yeah.
Yes, much.
Okay, I haven't seen either one.
Adam, turn your headphones down. Much better.
I see.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's like that with a script.
Okay.
But it's a caper movie. I
see.
miss an ensemble caper
Right.
movie.
Yeah. Like all the oceans.
And fun to watch. Always fun.
My favorite Spike Lee movie is a caper movie. Inside Man.
Inside
Man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I've never seen
Yeah,
it.
it's a good.
Oh, you'd
good
like it. It's
caper
a
movie.
smart thriller,
Yep.
yeah, caper.
It's not
Heist
preachy.
movie.
The all right. So I then Edward Norton was the heavy in that movie.
Yeah, with the mustache.
And the mini little
Yes.
evil goatee thing.
Soul patch or whatever.
Right. But I also figured out in movies how you can always tell who the bad guy is. Now, facial hair helps. How they treat women.
Sure.
It's always a tell. But I have the biggest tell for who the baddest people are in movies. So you always know who the bad guy is.
I can't wait.
In a movie. And it's always
Asthmatic.
It is it's universal. It every single time.
Okay.
And it's only the bad guys who do this.
And is it only men or can it be women villains?
It's 96% men,
Okay.
but it's a universal it's a universal behavior.
Okay.
That wouldn't sound like a tell, but it's always a tell
I can't
for the
wait.
bad
Yeah.
guy.
Finally, I can solve my movie watching.
When the bad guy gets punched by the good guy somewhere in the middle of Act 2 and goes down, like because they've kidnapped the daughter and at some point the Liam Neeson punches him or something like that. Of course, the good guy always drops him because he's the good guy. The bad guy then falls to his back, wipes a little blood from his lip. Then when his henchmen go to help him, he shakes them off.
No,
Get
no,
out!
no.
Get out of here! He doesn't go. He's angry at them
At the
for
henchmen.
attempting the henchmen. So when his bad guy minion attempt to help, he's scorned.
Right.
Scorned. He's angry. He doesn't wave him off. He doesn't go, "I got this" or anything. He's get out of my face. It's always the weirdest thing because
Wow.
it's like it's always universal.
Okay.
You can always tell the bad guy does it. If a good guy gets whacked, his friends help him up,
Right.
and
That's
he's
his-
fine. He
right.
lets them do it.
This is all ego.
It's all
he's been humiliated.
Ego. He's been humiliated, and they never accept help. Now, I would argue if you have henchmen, that would be part of their job.
What are you
is
paying him for?
It's in the job
getting you back of
description.
it. Always angry. Usually more angry at the guys trying to help him than the guy who punched him. So what they do is the good guy punches them. They go down. They drop him. Then he starts to get up. They go, "Hey boss, let me get out of here!"
Yeah.
They wave them. They smack their hand, and then they get up and they wipe a little blood off their nose and they go, they say, there'll be part 2 or
Right.
you're not going to get away with this
I'll
or
be
whatever. But
back.
they're actually more angry at the guys trying to help them.
Yeah.
Right.
This is a good observation. I feel like this is universal in Bond films. I feel like this is a Bond villain move.
Any bad guy, he didn't get dropped, but remember when Pesci was losing his mojo in Casino and he kept punching the
Oh,
guy
yeah,
and he would
yeah.
drop.
He had to have the reliever come in.
Yep.
Right.
Throw to the
He was
lefty.
angry at his own guys. They're always angry at
That's
their own
right.
guys. That's how you know the guy's a bad guy.
That's very interesting and observant.
It's just trying to help.
Well,
and the
yeah.
henchmen never go, "Well, sorry, Your
Yeah,
Highness.
excuse me."
I'm just trying to get you off the ground."
No, they got to eat it.
I'm a henchman.
Right.
And you said by the way they treat women. You know what else is interesting? Because I assume you mean they treat them badly. Like the
they're-
guy in Tenet.
they're initially always
We just watched
But
it.
over the top.
they're always initially crazy creepy
Yes.
to them. You know, they say something like, you know, when I see something that I like,
Or-
I usually take it.
Right.
And I like you. And that's like when they meet.
Or Jack Nicholson asking the girl at the counter in Departed, "Did you get your period yet?" Mm-hmm. Gross.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting because then I thought, can you tell by the way they treat animals? And in a
No,
way, you
they're
can.
always- they're always- oh, they're better.
They
Yeah,
are
sorry.
so much better
Yes.
to their animals than the hero or
Yep.
anti-hero.
Yep.
Like, hey, buddy, sorry I missed feeding you for 3 days. I love you. But the villain loves their pets.
Yeah. I was thinking that before I launched into this.
Mm.
They're extra sugary sweet to their, but
Mm-hmm.
that holds true in real life too.
Oh.
Saccharine sweet to the lap dog, super cunty to whoever the assistant is
Right.
on the Real
Right.
Housewives of whatever.
Oh, we'll be talking about Cruella soon.
Oh, I
good.
can't wait.
All right, so you're going to do a roundup for movies that are back in the theater, or
Yeah,
us back
someone
in the theater.
tweeted me and was like, "Hey, what should I see?" And I'm like, you know what? This is actually
Mm-hmm.
like a really especially good time for movies in the theater. There's a lot of high quality movies, so we're going to run them down.
Well, speaking of back, Jeffrey, you can call me Jeff now, Toobin is back on
vengeance.
CNN.
Oh no!
And he went and sat down for his first time in 8 months. He's now back, and had a female host, anchor, sort of sit
by
down
design.
and welcome him back.
Yeah.
But she had to get into painstaking detail about why he was cut 8 months ago. And I'll
Elephant
just
in the room situation, right? Yeah.
well, I think what most people do, especially colleagues, is they go, "Welcome back. Sorry to hear about the dust up from 8 months ago,
Recent
but
troubles,
put that behind us.
Right.
Turn the page."
It's
and
Googleable.
she did not do that. She
boy.
literally just went over. It's Alyssa.
Alice- I think it's Allison, yeah.
Oh, sorry, Allison Camerata. All right, so Toobin's sitting right next door. It's awesome.
Let's bring CNN chief legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin to talk about this and more. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello, Allison.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, indeed.
I feel like we should address what's happened in the months since we've seen you, since some of our viewers may not know what has happened.
They know.
So
They know.
I guess I'll recap. I'll do
Everyone
the
knows.
honors.
Help yourself.
Okay. In October, you were on a Zoom call with your colleagues from the New Yorker magazine.
Check.
Everyone took a break for several minutes, during which time you were caught masturbating
Oh, God.
on camera.
Jesus.
I told you it
You were
wasn't
subsequently
exposing
fired
himself,
from that
Gina.
job after 27 years of working there. And you, since then, have been on leave from CNN. Do I have all that right?
I
You
hate
got it
this.
all right.
I
Sad
hate
to
this.
say.
Okay, so let's start there.
As somebody
Oh my
who's
God.
down with CNN, as somebody who's down with all of it, I don't want any of this to happen. I wish this never happened.
Wait, did you dive right back in the news? Okay,
Yeah.
so
But
let's
that's
start-
what I'm saying. Like, I'm all for, you're getting your comeuppance. No. Leave this poor guy alone. Don't do this to him. Don't remind everyone he was masturbating on a Zoom call. That was horrific.
Yeah, I mean, you could say being inappropriate or something, some version of that.
Exposing
but
yourself.
and also, it's got to be weird for the 9-year-olds in the room because this is just prime time CNN.
Right.
Like no one's
Yeah.
shutting the door.
And
like we're just watching CNN in
And
the
talk
kitchen.
about undermining your guest. Now, give us your opinion,
Yeah.
Mr. Chronic Masturbator.
Plus, he's got to think about there's a million different euphemisms for masturbation,
Sure.
so he can't go say spanking or
Right.
choking or grab.
Yeah.
Come on, everyone's just playing with themselves over
Yeah.
here. It's time to
You
get
wanna
back to
beat
basics.
this.
You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
That was uncalled for.
Yeah, that was.
I got to watch it one more time.
No.
One more time, just because it's so goddamn uncomfortable.
Let's bring in CNN chief legal analyst Jeffrey Toobin to talk about this and more. Hi, Jeffrey.
Hello, Allison.
It's been a while.
It has been a while, indeed.
I feel like we should address what's happened in the months since we've seen you, since some of our viewers may not know what has happened. So I guess I'll recap. I'll do the honors.
Oh, my God. She
Help yourself.
loves
Okay.
this.
In October, you were on a Zoom call with your colleagues from the New Yorker magazine. Everyone took a break for several minutes, during which time you were caught masturbating on camera. You were subsequently fired from that job after 27 years of working there. And you, since then, have been on leave from CNN. Do I have all that right?
You got it all right. Sad to say.
Okay.
What up, man? That's not cool.
11:38 Pacific. This was on.
Daytime?
Oh yeah.
Daytime.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
No,
Oh, sorry.
Mid-morning.
Yeah, I didn't know it was
11
daytime.
AM.
Yeah. Sorry. Pacific AM. Sorry.
Oh
Sorry.
my God. If I were Toobin, I'd be like, then fuck you guys. Like if you're gonna do me like
Yeah, I'm
that,
trying to
then
put
I'll
my
stay
life back
home.
Well, he's
together.
also fired from another job. I mean, he
Yeah.
was on his other
Right.
gig when he got caught, but he should sue her.
I agree.
That would be funny.
Do you think she was doing this against her will, or she was like, okay, if you want him on, but I'm gonna air all his shit?
I don't know
'Cause
what the process is.
She didn't seem trepidatious. She was like, well, I feel like we got to talk about this.
I don't know. We'd have to talk to the segment producer.
Can we?
All right. There's a video of a crow attack, which I did not see, but evidently it's making the rounds. So says Chris. Guy is going to get on his car. He's got a baby crow sitting on the roof of his Mercedes. So he goes to get the baby crow, which doesn't look like it can fly, I guess.
Oh boy.
Picks up the baby
Game of
crow.
Thrones. Oh my God, it's
He's
Game of
attacked.
Thrones.
He's attacked.
Where are my dragons?
He's got a murder of crows above him. That's just from moving a youngin'. And they're dive bombing him. They're menacing him. They're up.
Get in your car. What are you doing?
I don't know what he's doing. He's standing by the door. I guess he doesn't want to turn his back on him. Wow. But they're going. That's only 3 crows. Do not tell me my attack crows would not be effective.
They're effective right now.
There's nothing you can do when those crows
Say
hit you
that's
in
a
the head.
school shooter. That ends before it begins.
There's nothing you can do.
And that noise is pretty brutal. That car.
You know what it does is it probably taps into every fear humans have.
Mm-hmm.
We don't like stuff from above
No.
coming down on us.
No.
We like to step over things. Black is scarier than white in nature.
You said it.
They got beaks and talons, which sucks.
yeah,
and then
animal
and
attacks.
they make the noise.
Uh-huh.
And then it's the randomness of it. They're coming from different directions. You're not sure what the move is as they fly
Right.
over you.
There's
You
no
don't know if they're going
pattern.
to hit you in the head or
Yeah.
not.
That's horrible.
Well, we live in a world where teachers are saying, I keep a box of rocks behind my desk in case someone tries to shoot this place up. Keep a crow.
You could do better.
They're all over the place. They're easily trainable. And I think it'd be pretty easy to train a crow to stop a mass shooting.
Yeah.
And you just put them wherever.
Well, and anyone who's still like laughing at the idea of that, like, how long have we had canine units? I mean, this seems like almost, I'm afraid to say that this idea is almost archaic sounding now.
Well, what have you said? All right, your kids are going to a class. They're going to a new school. In this school, we have a canine unit that will charge any guy who brandishes a rifle or gun or weapon.
Oh, great.
As a
Sounds
parent,
awesome.
you'd be like,
Yeah.
that's
Sounds
awesome.
safe, yeah.
Feel the same with the crows. The crows, Max Pad was reading an article. They recognize everybody.
Yeah.
They recognize everyone's face. They certainly could recognize someone pulling a gun out.
Of course.
They certainly would hear the sound of it. They don't seem to possess any form of fear
Right.
when it comes to doing their job.
Right.
We could be somewhere.
Yeah. So it's crow attack season in Vancouver right now for the month of June.
Romantic.
So
Gotta
they've
bring a
actually,
camera.
yeah. So they've been sending out like tips of how to avoid these crow attacks because they said that of course we all know they can remember faces and they could even pass along that information somehow.
Wow.
Put a hit out on you.
Yeah, and also even if you wear your mask, they can memorize other characteristics about you. So your mask isn't going to protect you. They said this is the professor of wildlife sciences at the University of Washington. He said the only mask that could help you is a Halloween mask that you wear on the back of your head.
Oh, so they attack your face.
Yeah,
what
exactly.
they think is your face.
Exactly. So they think because
Wow.
they
That's-
try to get you from behind. They try to attack you from behind.
Take it off before you make sweet love to your wife, because if the kid walks in
Oh boy.
and
Very
sees you
confused.
missionary
Very
Right.
and then
confused.
sees Richard
Sees
Nixon laying backwards on top of mama, double jointed,
traumatic, yeah.
that's going to be therapy USA. Yeah, I would I don't know. Maybe if Andrew Yang becomes the mayor of New York City, I'll pitch. Andrew Yang's the kind of guy
he could listen.
Pragmatic, outside the box thinker.
With all the crazy street crime and stuff, just fucking let him sit on the light post at night.
We need to train these crows before they train each other.
Right. I was saying to Chris too. Good if you had a stalker too, because they recognize everyone's face.
They're always following you.
How fucking good would you feel leaving the house at night? All right, Gina.
What?
You got a video of a homeless advocate talking about.
So I saw this on Instagram. I believe the account is Homeless People of Los Angeles. And, they're always showing like there's a giant encampment fire or there's, all this, Thunderdome shit going on here. But this one I thought was particularly poignant and nuanced. I'll just set it up and then you hear the guy talking. But there is in Venice, there is a group of people, a group of protesters that have met and they're trying to lay their paper down and make signs to protect and defend the homeless. And look what's going on.
Street people of Los Angeles.
Oh, yes, thank you. And look what's going on right next to them trying to paint these signs to protect the homeless.
So they're trying to put their sign down. And then there's a guy with a machete.
A guy with a machete screaming to himself. Next to her.
Jesus Christ.
So listen to this.
She's got her back to him.
Just so you know, there's a guy with a knife behind you. A butcher. Right.
Oh, yeah. I got an anxiety.
You're good. We're here.
Good.
Is that bad that my first thought was like, oh, he can help us cut this?
Yeah, I don't...
Make a joke out of it.
I feel like it should be illegal for guys to walk around with machetes.
I think it is.
I think it is.
Yeah, I think it is. But I don't know if we're doing anything about it.
So...
He
there
seems
are so
to be
many
nuts,
elements.
and he's playing with the machete. Now he's holding it over his head.
And it's all good for her.
She's 8 feet away with her back to him, and he's brandishing it.
Just swiped the air.
He just did a big old kung fu swipe with that machete.
That was a Rafael Nadal forehand.
Yes.
So if I am to understand this clip correctly, that is a group of people trying to make sure that nobody messes with the homeless while a man starts swinging a machete around the air next to them.
Oh my God.
That's got to be the number one issue in the next mayoral race, right? I mean, what else even comes close?
I would think. I mean, I was thinking about the sort of disadvantage. For some reason, the average, it kind of reminds me of litigation. See, people that sue for a living and patent trolls and stuff like that, that's their business.
Right.
It's such a nuisance to businesses because businesses, unfortunately, are attempting to do their business every day. So there's this nuisance cost, and then they have to cut them a check so they can get on with their business.
Right.
And they know that. And I feel like with a lot of the shit that's going down in our society, most of the people disagree. Most of the people of Los Angeles, the lion's share of people in Los Angeles would like the homeless problem cleaned up, don't want to see the parks overrun or the beaches overrun or guys running around with machetes. But we have fucking jobs. Those people are the taxpayers, the homeowners, the parents that got to get the kids off to school.
Right.
And if someone says, hey, it's Tuesday, how about you just take the day off and come protest with us on behalf of cleaning up the streets? They go, I have to go to fucking work.
Right.
It's all the fucking nudniks who have all the time in the world who are out in large and in charge on the streets. But these are weekdays, middle of the day. And
they're people at Wendy Williams.
The lion's share of the people disagree with them but have a fucking job. They have to go to work.
Right.
And so it always seems like, well, look at these people. Look at this cause.
Self-selecting.
Right. But everyone else is at work.
Yes. And by the way, I don't know if you received this email. I think it's personal. I got a personal email from Gavin Newsom, and I thought you'd be interested in the subject line. It says, Gina, please give me a chance to explain.
Wow.
Governor Newsom.
It feels like someone's starting from behind the 8 ball.
I know. It's long. He wants a $3 contribution for the Republican recall, to stop the Republican recall. This is the last sentence. If these right-wing recall leaders are successful, it would mean risking the progress we are making fighting the pandemic. It would mean turning the state over to A, anti-mask, anti-vax pro-Trump extremists. I think somebody messed up the grammar on that last one. But do you think he believes that it's only Republicans that want him recalled, or it's Democrats that would love a do-over?
If he thought so, here's how he works. If he thought it was one group, he would just say Nazis. If I don't. It's hard to tell what Gavin Newsom thinks. Like it's really honestly, I've interviewed him. I've heard him speak.
Like in a hamster wheel way.
Yeah, I really don't know what he thinks.
Well,
but
in an authentic way. Like he's a slimy politician. Like he'll say anything.
Yeah,
I don't know if he believes it or not.
He knows. I don't know what the number is. Maybe 30% of the recall people were Democrats. Maybe more, or independents or something like that. He knows it's not some QAnon, Trump, right-wing, whatever.
But that's not in the email.
No, it is not.
Republican recall, right-wing extremists. These are all things in the email.
Well, we'll take another Democrat who just does everything differently than him.
Sure.
Although I don't know who they are. We'll have to see.
And I love that, for scare tactics, like we just talked about, a lot of people are very up and down the coast concerned about the homeless problem. And he says, we're going to stop the progress on vaccine. Like, what are you talking about? Nobody was even talking about that.
Yeah, I think homeless is kind of third rail for him now. All right, let's see. We got Baldywood. I've got stuff written down here. I had a funny thing. Happen. So I bought this. I told you guys. God, it was about a year ago. No, may have been 2 years ago. I went to this boutique. Were you with us, Max Pata, in Monterey? Or is that just me and Nate?
I don't think I was there for this one.
We went, there's this little boutique in Monterey, and it's a husband-wife team. And the wife runs the boutique, and the husband is a great drawer, and he paints all these old race cars, and they make these big models of the race cars. Mm-hmm. And they made a model of my Porsche 935, and it's big. It's probably 18 inches, and it's very intricate.
Cool.
And whatever else. And it was very cool, and it was super expensive, and we bought it, and the other week it finally showed up. I think they made 50. They make a small batch of them, so on and so forth. And the way they make these models is they're so intricate. They have all the parts and and they work, and you can like take the hood off and blah, blah, blah. So I took the thing home, and I thought, I want to take the rear hatch off and take a look at the engine. I want to see the detail.
Sure.
And how they did that 935 turbo engine. And I went to pull. The way the hatch comes off is they have these little push pins. Push them in with your thumb. They kind of go in, they lock it, but you can pull the pins off and then sort of lift the hatch off.
Sorry, how big is this ish?
It's the size of it's 16, 18, 18 inches,
All
sort
right.
of Shaq shoe size.
Got it.
And so then I went to pull one of the little pins out because it's so detailed. It's got every sticker, it's got every button, it's got every reflector, it's got everything as the car was when it ran at Le Mans, 1979. And I pulled the first pin out to pull the hood off, and it appeared to come out, but maybe it broke off. Can't remember. It's a little T-handle thing. It's so small. And then I went to, there's probably a picture of that car somewhere. I don't know if they have a website or something like that.
I don't even know what the store's called.
It's in Monterey, and it does model cars, basically, and car painting. So it's probably... Anyway, then I thought, oh, okay, I tried the other pin, and this time it broke off.
Oh, boy.
And there's these two little microscopic pins. Again, everything is like such painstaking detail. And then it broke off, and then I remember I faded back to a conversation I had, which is, oh, you can get just the car model, which is really expensive.
No.
For another $10,000, you can get the one where the hood and everything. So I just promptly broke off the two pieces on the car and then lost one of them.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're like the kindergartner in our house.
Easy come, easy go.
That is right.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So I think...
It's unfortunate.
How much does that set you back? How much does that set you back?
I think it was... I think we paid $3,500, and it was a substantial discount, as I
really?
as I
They
recall.
normally do
Those cost.
6,000 or something, whatever it is.
They're really expensive because they're really one-off and they're really detailed. And I can't think
Guy's
of
an
it.
artist. I understand.
Well, you know what you can do? You can JB weld it.
Yeah, that's what I should do, except for I lost
All right.
the little pin.
Okay.
All right, let me tell you about Klaviyo. Ever wonder how the e-commerce brands you admire do it? It's not experience. They have the right data and the right tools. They have Klaviyo. Klaviyo data-driven marketing automation platform is sophisticated enough to power legendary campaigns from brands you admire, but simple enough and easy enough and fast enough for anybody to use. Klaviyo helps brands create personalized multi-channel marketing campaigns using customer data. Klaviyo integrates with all leading e-commerce platforms, drag and drop easy. Get started with your first campaign in under an hour. Easy to build from there with Klaviyo's templates. More than 65,000 brands can't get enough, including some of the brands you hear me talk about on this podcast. Right, Dawson?
To get started with a free trial of Klaviyo, visit klaviyo.com/Adam. That's KLAVIYO.com/Adam.
I was watching the Brady Bunch.
Oh, good.
Do we have that? You got the Brady Bunch, right? Yeah, I sent it to Max Petta. On the screen, man. Come on.
I don't think there's one I haven't seen.
This is from season 1. I won't play it for you yet. I'll just tease it. I don't know why, but they saw fit to play the Christmas episode.
Oh.
The Brady's first Christmas, 90 degrees outside.
I hate that. I don't like watching seasonal stuff out of season.
Makes me itchy.
Yeah.
I don't watch desert, dusty movies, and I don't watch out-of-season movies. But I was just watching it because everyone should just watch the Brady Bunch to see how we thought, what we looked like, what the aesthetic was, what the mom's role was, what the dad's role was, little weird things that seemed nuts, like the housekeeper, Alice, always called him Mr. Brady,
Yep,
you know, the
and,
kind of...
and always in a uniform.
Wore uniform, and like getting him coffee, like Mrs. Brady, and referred to Carol Brady as Mrs. Brady to Mr. Brady, you know, like Mrs. Brady's going to be home soon.
I think Olga would be down with that.
She calls him Mr. Adam.
She stands in the kitchen and talks to her friends in Spanish on the phone, and then I walk by and I go, in English, English, and she goes, aye. That's how we roll. But it was also something great, too. Like, all they had was tropes back then. Like, in this episode, what happens? Carol gets laryngitis. Laryngitis. That was an entire episode.
Wow. You could dine out on that for an hour.
But the big singing competition is this Saturday. No talking. You can't talk. You know, I have laryngitis. It just, we felt... Somebody said laryngitis, and we liked it. And we said, we're weaving it into every sitcom there is. He's got laryngitis. And it was always, and the big spelling bee is coming up at the end of the week.
Show.
Right. And they always miraculously recover. But
they love laryngitis as much as they love poison ivy.
Yes, that was another big one, too. Which laryngitis kind of gone the way of the dodo.
Yeah.
All right. We'll take a quick break. We got Baldywood, and I'll play you that... Brady Bunch episode right after this.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Hey guys, on the topic of growing up with things we were always told, I was always told that I was related to Alexander Hamilton. My wife was told she was related to King George III. Turns out after we got Ancestry, my wife is in no way related to the king. And apparently not only am I not related to Alexander Hamilton, but I also have slave owners in my family. Quite a few of them. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
You and Ben Affleck.
Did he seem apologetic or excited? I couldn't tell.
Yeah, I think these days...
Satisfied.
Validated.
In these days, I just think the worst thing you can have is nothing. Like, well, your dad, your great grandfather was ye old substitute school teacher.
Yawn.
You know what I mean? Like, even a villain is more exciting than not.
You might be onto something because my great-great-grandparents sold furniture out of the back of a wagon in Appleton, Wisconsin, and that's not something I talk about very often.
No, it's the first we've heard of it.
Yeah.
Is there no genealogist listening to this show who can just do our genealogy and figure out if we're related to anybody?
That'd be great.
Come on.
Get on that.
We'll give you a plug for your genealogy shop.
That place in Monterey, Max Pat, am I making that place up?
I'm having trouble finding it. I mean,
maybe they're not online or something. All right.
Brady Bunch.
I was watching the Brady Bunch. Little Cindy Brady. Carol has lost her voice.
Okay.
Of course, the big church sing, the big solos coming up at the end of the week. They also do this insane thing, which kids would never do. Like at some point, all the kids get together and go, I know tomorrow's Christmas, but it just doesn't feel like Christmas without Mom being able to talk. Sure. Maybe we should just forget about it. I'd be like, fuck that shit. I'm getting Hot Wheels, bitch. Are you fucking high?
Greatest day of my life.
Mom could be gored by a bull. This Christmas morning, I would still finish opening up my goddamn packages.
Right.
Are you nuts? But they all agree. Like
cancel Christmas.
Right. So little Cindy goes to the mall. It's even kind of fun to see what a mall looked like.
What is it, like the old Fashion Square or something?
It's a set that, with a fake elevator in it or something. But little Cindy goes. She's 6 years old. She's going to talk to Santa. She doesn't want any presents. Oh. All she wants is her mom to get her voice back.
Okay.
You're next, little girl. Well, my sakes. What's your name?
Cindy Brady.
My, but you are a pretty little girl. What toy would you like to have Santa bring you?
Oh, I don't want any toys.
No toys? Well, you must want something for Christmas.
I do. I want my mommy to get her voice back.
Your mommy's voice back?
Mommy's got laryngitis. Real bad.
Well, that is a shame.
And she has to sing at church on Christmas.
Well, Cindy, I don't think I can...
Oh, please, Santa.
This is a sitcom, by the way.
For Christmas.
Well, you certainly are a sweet, unselfish little girl. I'm sure your mommy will get her voice back.
Oh, thank you, Santa.
No touching.
All right, so now Mike Brady, turns out to be gay in real life.
That's right.
Shows up to pick her up, and then he goes, what did you ask Santa for? And she goes, oh, I asked him for Mama to get her voice back, and he said yes.
Uh-oh.
So Mama's going to get her voice back, and of course, Mr. Brady's concerned because he knows it's not really Santa.
Does he?
Well, I think he does because they go to a commercial, and then they come back, and Mike Brady has decided to confront Santa Claus in the Santa locker room. He made his way in the locker room.
Slaps on the ass.
Yes. And I don't know how he plans on fixing this, but the next scene, and this is why I'm showing it to you because it makes me laugh. It's exterior mall. Then they go inside the locker room.
You make such a promise to a little girl. Listen, this is Christmas, mister, and I'm Santa Claus.
Maybe it's okay to promise material things like toys and dolls and bicycles, but not voices. How's Cindy going to feel tomorrow morning when her mother can't even say Merry Christmas to her?
I'm sorry, but that little kid is hard to resist. When she looks at you with those big baby blues, you just want to give her everything.
Not things you can't deliver.
He's following him to the locker.
Honest, I only wanted to make her happy.
That's great for now. What's going to make her happy Christmas Day?
Jesus fucking Christ. At what point do you call security?
Jack, first of all, how'd you get back here?
Yeah.
Right.
Don't you need a swipe card?
And then secondly, right, the little girl put Santa in a tough spot.
Right.
She said, I want Mama to have her voice back. The Santa was like, I don't know if I can. Oh, please. And he was like, okay, we'll hope so, or whatever. And then Dad goes to confront Santa. By the way, how are we going to undo this? How can we unring this bell? Follow me out to the parking lot, Santa, and disappoint my daughter when she's climbing into the wagon?
See, it's not really Santa.
And he does like 4 laps. He goes, why'd you tell her that?
Thinking?
What were you thinking? He's like, I don't fucking know. I get sick. I get $4 an hour for this fucking gig. You understand? He like falls him over. He's like, well, yeah, but what's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know. What are we to do here?
Does Santa have to make him whole?
I don't know. Why is that scene? And I hope you guys are sitting down. Carol miraculously gets her voice back
Spoiler
and
alert.
sings like an angel at the
Sure.
church. So, Mike,
Christmas
go
Carol.
fucking find that loser Santa in his shitbox and Van Nuys and go fucking apologize to his old ass then.
Yeah.
Following him around.
And by the way, what a world where that's your biggest problem.
Yeah, seriously.
I know. Just standing in the. I like that.
And really crowding them.
Yeah, crowding him, following him over. Like the guy just
Box him in.
The guy said she had beautiful blue eyes. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I crumbled.
But Santa, huh?
Well, then what about tomorrow? And then what about and what about if she gets syphilis? And then my daughter comes back. Or what if
she's blind and crazy? She's syphilis.
Right. Then once they're cured. And he has to really lay like, I understand bicycles and toys
and
but
dolls.
This is a medical issue.
Oh my God.
Speaking of Santa and uncomfortable situations, this actually happened to me a week ago. I went to a funeral for a family friend of Christie's. He was an older gentleman, and his brother-in-law was the first to speak. Now, spoiler alert for everyone listening who might have a young kid in the car, a little kid in the car seat, maybe skip
Fast
ahead
forward.
30 or 60 seconds. The brother-in-law leads off with... the guy's name is Chris. He passed away. When my wife, Chris's sister, and Chris were younger, Chris was a little older, and he knew there was no Santa Claus, so he told her, blah, blah, blah.
Did you bring Tessa?
No, I didn't bring Tessa, but they're like, his grandkids were in the audience. They're like 7 and 9.
That's
It's
horrible.
brutal. Don't lead off with that.
Also, well, don't put it in the middle of the end either.
Yeah, exactly. We're all looking at each other like, oh boy.
I'm not sure. I think when people who aren't used to public speaking get a little uncomfortable, they say weird
They
things.
panic fire.
Yeah.
Balls.
Anyway, I just thought you'd like to see Mike Brady following Santa into the locker
I
room.
loved it. And I moved to...
By the way, where's
yeah.
Cindy during this?
Oh,
She's a
she's-
6-year-old girl.
she's getting
Just
abducted
she's getting
and,
raped
yeah.
at the poster shop.
in the pet store.
Yeah, where is she?
I would love to, as much as I've enjoyed the hot love boat talk, I would love to move on to the Brady Bunch since I have seen
We
all
shall.
the Brady Bunch.
Also, that guy was there, Santa, giving out the wishes all afternoon. Mike would have had to wait
Oh, till like 7.
for his shift to
Right.
end to follow him then into the locker room.
That's right.
He's a maniac.
Nothing in this story makes sense.
Yes.
I blame Sherwood Schwartz.
You should. I delivered booze to his house once.
Oh, yeah. I think you told us.
Yeah.
No tip, right?
No, the thing about the thing about booze delivery, because I worked for the Flask Liquor, and the Flask Liquor people had accounts.
Right.
Studios had accounts.
Put on my
and
tab.
production
Sign
companies
for
had
it,
accounts. And then Big Beverly Hills people had accounts. And if you're a rich person, you don't go to Costco. You just have the Flask Liquor like once a month, bring over a couple bottles of sherry and some champagne and whatever. And when you bring over boxes of stuff, nobody tips you. You bring one $7.50 bottle of Smirnoff to one person in one
hold on, let me
apartment.
get my
That
note.
guy's got to
Yep.
tip you out. When you're delivering the cases, they
Right.
don't tip you. So
Seems backwards.
I delivered
Really does.
booze for 2.5 years and never received a tip. But I was delivering comically thousands of dollars worth of booze. Like I would bring over multiple cases of Dom Perignon for like a wedding and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I was just a moving guy at that point.
That's
There was
weird.
On
no
paper,
tipping.
that sounds like one of the best tipping jobs around.
Yeah, I went to Sherwood Schwartz's house. It was a big part of my childhood. Yeah, you've seen every Brady Bunch?
Multiple times because that was on in heavy rotation after school on TBS. So, I mean, I was watching them. And I never got into Partridge Family, but Brady Bunch, I've seen them multiple times.
All right. So my theory. So the popular thought is that we should give that this is sort of fantasy family porn, you know,
Sure.
but it's sort of uplifting and it makes people feel good. But it always bothered me because when they ever had, I don't know why it always stuck. First off, just eating dinner together bothered me. Having a house, having
Having
the
stairs.
housekeeper like cooking, having stairs. The thing that bothered me the most is when Mike would call a Brady meeting.
Oh, family meeting.
A family meeting. Like the Carollas would never. We would never have a family meeting. We wouldn't have a room that we could do that in. Or what would that be like? Like, how would that go? And the dad, your mom and I are concerned, Cindy. You got a C- on your algebra.
Yeah.
Like these kinds of family meetings.
Always meet in the den.
And how nothing burgers were big deals to them.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but Bobby doesn't want to go camping this year.
They found a loose cigarette in Greg's varsity jacket.
Right. Or he wanted to stay home and not go camping that one year because he got his own pad upstairs. Right. But of course, these nothing problems. And, my mom was locked in a room yelling, freak out. And I was like, they call this a problem? These aren't problems.
That was very Jewish of you.
And but then I would go watch Sanford and
These
Son.
Are problems?
These are problems? Such problems?
You should be mad at this.
I would. But then I'd watch Good Times. I'd feel better because we had a shitty house and they had government, the projects.
Cabrini Green.
Mm-hmm. So what? You had what? What'd you have for Brady's? You got an episode you like?
I've seen all of them. I love all of them. And, people are always like, oh, that show sucks. I'm like, I don't know. Does it? It's one of those things where I loved it so much and I watched it so much. I don't know. Obviously, it was bad, but I loved it.
It sucks like candy corn sucks, which is it's just a
accurate.
Part of your childhood.
It's
not dessert. It's not, I do too. That's my point. It's like it's not good.
Right.
It's not good dessert.
It's waxy and sweet.
If you went to a nice restaurant, they give you a handful of candy corn. You'd be like, what the fuck? But it harkens you back.
It's the original Modern Family.
Mm-hmm.
Ask me how many episodes I've seen of the Brady.
How many?
0. I've never seen a full episode.
You should watch just to understand where we were at the time. First, they didn't discuss Vietnam or race relations.
A lot of how are we going to get
anything.
Davy Jones to our prom?
Right. They would always pull it off.
Real world scenarios.
Yeah.
And they would always, they started doing cameos. And it's like, Don Drysdale, hey, Bobby, let me show you how to throw that curveball.
Joe Namath.
And it was always loosely under the umbrella of he was one of Mike's clients or something.
Architect
and started
clients.
to swing by the Brady house and show you how to throw that baseball, Bobby.
It was always men. I don't remember any women guest starring.
Yeah, it was true. They would have your Davy Jones would play the prom.
And then athletes.
Don Drysdale and Roman Gabriel, maybe, I don't know, Joe Namath or something like that. They never had Charo.
Mm-hmm. No,
or
they
one of the
should've.
Gabor sisters.
Yeah,
because Carol didn't leave the house.
True. It's not like she could bring someone home from her sewing circle.
She was like a housewife.
Right.
And when she got laryngitis and was told to rest, she couldn't take it. Like she'd hear the kids talking, they need my help, or I got to go in the kitchen and cook, or I got to clean something. She couldn't chillax for 2 days.
Poor Carol. You remember all the songs that the Silver Platters sang, though. Remember when
we gotta keep on dancing all through the night. We're gonna keep on doing it right. We're gonna keep on dancing. We're gonna keep on grooving.
Keep on dancing all through the night.
Yeah.
That was a good one. And of course, when it's time to change, it's time to rearrange who you are and what you gonna be. Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Sha-na-na-na-na.
What are you talking about?
I don't remember those.
This is like Tarantino hosting SNL.
Every boy's a man inside, a girl's a woman too. A lesson from Mother Nature. Here's what you gotta do. Yeah.
They formed a band called the Silver Platters.
I'm gathering.
Because they bought their mom. This is another thing me and my sister would have never
so
done.
Many presents.
If I said to my sister, when's mom and dad's anniversary? She'd be like, they're married?
Yeah.
I didn't know they even got married.
When was that?
We never talked about it. So they had to form a band to pay
for an engraved silver platter.
For the anniversary. So they called themselves the Silver Platters, but Bobby's voice.
No, Peter's voice started changing in the middle of cutting the album.
And you know how you can't sing with 5 people?
No. It's out of the question.
Yeah. Like Dave Matthews needs oh, wait a minute. It's a bad example because there's one guy.
Sure.
Yeah.
The 6 tops.
Yeah, the 6 tops. That's right. Or the Ben Folds 7.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. So they needed Bobby. His voice, Peter, his voice changed. But here's how they would do everything. Carol couldn't speak, and of course it was like, well, we're going to do compelling TV. So it'd be like that night before the big concert. It's like, I can't talk, Mike. I can't talk. And then she'd wake up the next morning and she'd be like, the hills are alive. And it's like, okay, that's great for the story, but what the fuck happened between 12 midnight and 8 a.m.?
Right.
How did she...
Well, Santa Claus worked his magic.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's a Christmas miracle.
And Peter somehow got his voice
He went
back?
through. By the way, seeing as how Jan was always getting the short end of the stick, and she was right around that age, and this is a family issue. No period talk. Nobody became a woman ever.
No.
Not even but it wasn't even suggested. Like even the Cosby Show had a Woman's Day episode.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
Didn't they have those warnings that are like period language or period smoking or period something?
Period.
It's just period talk.
That's a good point.
Yeah, no.
You have to wear
All
a sanitary belt.
All right. Sorry, what? We got Baldywood?
Oh, shit. Yeah.
Sorry for the Brady talk.
Hooray for Baldywood. He will tell you if a movie's good. Brian will review the flicks that he's seen up on the big screen or in his Netflix queue. Before you spend bucks, remember his taste sucks. He loved that train wreck piece of shit Transformers 2. Hooray for Baldywood.
Like I was saying, a listener tweeted me, was like, hey, what about movies in theater? What should I see? I'm like, you're in luck, man, because there has not been a time in quite a while when we've had such good movies in theater. So it's a buyer's market, as it were. I'm going to go off of the box office estimates. Tonight's Sunday as we're recording this. So the box office estimates for this weekend will go bottom to the top, some good movies in the theaters. First of all, there's a movie that's been in the theater for a few weeks, number 15 at the box office, called Nobody, starring Bob Odenkirk.
I still haven't seen this.
I heard it was good.
I want to see this.
It's not just good, it's really good.
That's what I heard.
So it's directed by Ilya Nashuler. I think I got that right. This person directed Hardcore Henry, which was a movie that exceeded my expectations. Nobody is written by the same guy who wrote John Wick, so it's got a lot in common with John Wick. Bob Odenkirk is a suburbanite family man, father of the house. He leads a very ordinary life. You see him taking out trash and missing the trash truck and all the tropes of modern, suburbanite, mundane living. And one day finds himself on a bus, and some thugs are threatening a young lady, and Bob becomes enraged and just whips the crap out of him like John Wick style. Like
that's Specialist Stallone style. If he's on a bus,
that's
and
right.
He's kicking ass with thugs.
And you come to realize, I'm not going to give anything away, you come to realize that
he has a background.
Bob Odenkirk may be a little more than he's letting on. You know what I mean? In the
Has anyone ever taken public transportation in a movie and not had the shit go down?
Not a violent interaction.
It has to happen.
Keanu, yeah.
It's movies have to be the worst advertisement for public transportation, because there's no such thing as a movie where someone's on a subway car or on a bus without some guy pulling out a stiletto.
The Taking of Pelham 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Yeah, have you ever seen the extended version of The Graduate? When they get on that bus and leave that wedding, they get a few blocks away.
That.
The shit goes down.
That's the director's cut.
Gotta watch that.
Yeah, gotta talk to Mike Nichols about that. Wow. So here's a clip from Nobody. Kaylee, got that ready? This is Bob Odenkirk's character. He experiences a robbery. A young couple shows up and robs his house to take a watch and some money, and he's going underground to kind of find out who they are, where they came from. He goes to a seedy tattoo parlor, and he's gonna flash a FBI badge here.
Agent Mansell, FBI. I'm looking
That's old.
What?
Your ID is a badge. Expired by about 20 years.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that ain't you in the photo. So, who are you? I'm just a man who's looking for someone. Yeah, well, you probably shouldn't flash cheese like that around here, bro. There are 3 types of people who, as you say, flash cheese. People who don't know any better, people who are seeking to intimidate and people like me who wish with every fiber of their being that someone would try to take it from them.
The guy sees a tattoo.
Oh.
He knows what that means.
Thank you for your service.
You too, old timer.
Locking on.
So any takers?
It's a great scene. It's indicative of the whole movie because it's intense, it's violent, but it's also funny and irreverent, which is a tough tone to nail.
And that's the thing. I mean, after, Better Call Saul, an entire series around Bob Odenkirk.
Right.
I mean, I'm so glad to see him starring
And
in
this
the movie.
is such inspired casting. Like, Odenkirk is not physically intimidating.
Right.
He's a little guy. You can see him next to the bigger guys there, but it really works.
So what's the story? He has training.
I don't want to know.
I don't want to give too much away, but it comes. I mean, you get the idea. It wouldn't be much of a movie if you didn't have training. It comes out that he has a background and he's out for vengeance and et cetera, et cetera.
Would you call it a comedy? What would you
There's
call
comedic
it?
elements
Like a
for
dark
sure,
comedy.
but this is an action movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we should watch it.
Number 12 at the box office is Raya and the Last Dragon. This is a Disney movie, and it is a very good Disney movie. I mean, this is sort of a, you know if you're in the audience for this or not. If you don't have kids, maybe I hesitate to say run out and see it. This might be a good rental. It's a solid movie. It's somewhere between like Frozen and Moana. No, wait. Yeah, no. Above Frozen and below Moana.
Right.
That's what I was trying to say. So Moana's a little better, Frozen's a little worse. It's
really?
warrior princess, she's it's a mystical, far away,
I like
long
Frozen.
road.
Can I dress like her for Halloween, or am I going to get into trouble?
I think there would, no, you absolutely.
I don't think so.
No, well, you can't. One can. Natalia could.
Are you sure it's not cultural appropriation?
If Disney's selling it in the front display, then I think it's okay.
They took all of Moana's stuff down before Halloween.
Yeah, but now these are like Adam observed. These are like warrior princesses, right? Like, this is like an ass kicking. She's got the staff, and
Where's she hail from?
This is China. This is long ago China, and it's a land of dragons. Which I don't know. Maybe it hurts the story for you.
Are
a
you
little bit.
saying that Natalia can just run out and dress like Mulan and no one will have any thoughts?
Tess has a Mulan dress.
Oh, Brian.
She wears it to school.
Oh.
Tell her she can't go as Whoopi Goldberg
Okay,
this year.
I will tell her she can't. Number 8 at the box office. I really enjoyed this movie, Wrath of Man. Have you guys heard about this?
Yeah, I've heard about it.
Wrath of Man is sweet. This is directed by Guy Ritchie. Of course, he has Snatch and Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
Means you can't understand anyone in this movie?
Actually, so this is like Guy Ritchie kind of growing up a little bit. Like, this is a much more intense, much less stylized story than all those movies. So Jason Statham, here's how it starts. Jason Statham goes to work for an armored car company, right? Like collect money from banks and whatever. As you can imagine, it's a dangerous job. There's a lot of stick-ups and robberies, attempts and whatever. And the movie opens with a very intense robbery / murder. It's pretty violent. And Jason Statham goes to work for this company. And on his first day on the job, well, let's play the clip of Josh Hartnett's in this movie. Welcome back, Josh Hartnett. And he's finding out that he has a new partner. Wouldn't you know that it's Jason Statham?
He was in the Italian Job, too.
Just tell me it ain't the limey.
Rando Duke himself.
That's good. Keep it coming. Boy Sweat, you'll be happy to hear that H is replacing Sticky John. Thank you, Stuart.
Got it, Bullet.
Stay out from under my feet and we'll get along just fine. Do you have any idea how dangerous this job can be?
Some idea, yeah.
No, you have no idea. We ain't the predators. We're the prey.
Boy Sweat's up front. You jump in there with him.
Whatever you say, boss.
So it's pretty tropey material, right? Guy goes to work for and then the next scene is there's a robbery attempt, and Jason Statham single-handedly foils it. Like, he kills everybody, almost like John Wick style. It's like, who the fuck is this guy? And it turns out he has a past, and he's seeking vengeance for something that was done wrong to him. There's a lot going on. I don't want to give it away, but it's dare I say, kind of Pulp Fiction-y the way it all unfolds. Like, it goes back and forth in time, and it's all bad guys. It's all like versions of, like, this guy sucks, but that guy sucks.
Are these playing at home as well? Can we stream these things?
You may have to look that up. I think Wrath of Man might.
I think nobody is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm trying to get people to go back to the movie.
I know. So I don't know.
You can rent them on stream. It's like $20 to rent Wrath of Man on
it is
streaming companies. But you can watch it at home. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably watch all of these at home.
Yeah. All right, so that's a good one.
That's a really solid one. Like I said, it goes back and forth.
I was like
time
looking at it, and I was like, "Is this just another kind of Jason Statham
Not
kind of
at
smash
all.
'em up thing?"
This
Okay.
is dare I say, like the grown-up evolution of like Guy Ritchie and Jason Statham.
Really, what's it sitting at on Rotten Tomatoes? Because I feel like they're so tough on the action stuff.
It's
Sometimes
at 66.
It's fresh.
But for a movie like this,
yeah,
consider that's a good score for a movie like this.
People probably have it higher.
Actually, it's a good question.
People have it at 90.
Yeah, it's really. I really liked it.
I'm telling you, movie critics, whether it's the Wrath of Man or whether it's the transsexual competing in the archery competition, I shouldn't be able to figure out whose score is going to be higher in advance of hearing the score.
premise,
you know what I mean? Like, you always know, oh, they don't like these kind of, oh, they love these kind of. Stop doing that, critics. It's a good movie or it's not. And if it's good, give it a good score. If it's an action movie, it can be a good action movie.
So, speaking of which, another good movie that wildly exceeded my expectations that has kind of a middling, okay Rotten Tomatoes score is Cruella.
I've heard good things.
It wildly exceeded my expectations. They were pretty low.
I think I checked it on Rotten Tomatoes, and I think it was like 76% or something like that. Or maybe
last I checked it was 74, but that's
it was 74.
When they started with the Maleficent stuff, now we're back on with the Disney female villain train.
That's the only problem I had with this. Was like, I don't know who it's for. This is not a kids movie,
Right.
but it's not sophisticated enough for adults. It's kind of that weird tweener where it's like kind of a Pirates of the Caribbean playful tone to it. That said, Emma Stone kills it. Emma Thompson kills it. It's kind of Joker meets The Devil Wears Prada. Because she goes to work for Emma Thompson, who's like a fashion maven.
I'd love to see the Joker as
The Devil Wears Prada was on the other night.
I love
Gina.
that movie.
I love that
movie
too. I love that movie.
Do we have a clip from this? I haven't seen any
I don't.
clips.
They're all very visual. It's a feast for the eyes.
Question: Are there horrible CGI puppies or adorable CGI puppies? I'm just guessing.
The adorable CGI, the adorable puppies do CGI things. So this is an origin story for Cruella de Vil. As a young girl, she witnesses her mother get killed by Dalmatians.
Oh my God!
It's an absurd setup.
The DeVille family.
Her mom, it's just her and her mom,
Okay.
single mom and everything.
And she named her Cruella.
Do you guys know who Paul Walter Hauser is? He was Sean Eckhart in the I, Tonya movie.
Oh, yeah, he's
Fat guy.
great.
Oh, yeah.
He's awesome.
He's
he
Richard Jewell.
He's Richard Jewell. Thank you very
That
much.
guy's always good.
Yeah.
He steals the show in this movie. He's fantastic.
Yeah, he's just a good actor.
Yeah.
You get a little lost because he plays fat guy role, but he's really good.
He's really excellent.
All right.
So check that out. Number 2 at the box office is In the Heights.
Aha!
New this week, Lin-Manuel Miranda's play turned into
Tony
a movie.
Award-winning Broadway hit show
Huge
before
hit.
Hamilton.
This was like option before Hamilton even was a
But
thing.
nobody knew who he was.
Right.
This was just everybody's got to see In the Heights, but he was not a name anyone knew.
I saw it the day it came out. It's excellent, as you can imagine. All of this is kind of like Raya in the sense that you know if this is for you. You know what I mean? Like someone actually tweeted me like, is it worth seeing? I'm like, well, if you don't like musicals, then you might want to hold off on this one.
How are the songs compared to Hamilton?
I'm so familiar with the Hamilton song. Gina might be better at answering this.
Yeah, you will know that this is Lin-Manuel Miranda, but the whole thing has sort of a Latin spice to it because that's what the movie's about.
It takes place in Washington Heights. So let's actually watch the opening scene. This is how the movie starts. And this is 96 amongst the critics, 96 amongst the audience. So everyone loves it.
And he was in Hamilton. He was the friend and son.
Lights up on Washington Heights, up at the break of day. I wake up and I got this little punk I gotta chase away. Pop the grate at the crack of dawn, sing while I wipe down the awning. Hey, good morning.
Ice cold piragua, palcha, china, cherry, strawberry, and just for today, I got my mate.
Oye, piragüero, ¿cómo estás?
Como siempre, señor Usnavi. Ice cold piragua, palcha.
I am Usnavi, and you probably never heard my name. Reports of my fame are greatly exaggerated, exacerbated by the fact that my syntax is highly complicated. Cause I immigrated from the single greatest little place in the Caribbean, Dominican Republic. I love it, Jesus, I'm jealous of it, and beyond that, ever since my folks passed on, I haven't gone back. God damn, I gotta get on then. Oh. The milk is gone bad. Hold up just a second. Why is everything in this fridge warm and tepid? I better step it up and fight the heat. Cause I'm not making any profit if the coffee isn't light and sweet.
That seems good.
It's good if you're into musicals, if you even can tolerate musicals. This is an excellent movie. I mean, it everyone loves it.
Paul Walter Hauser's earliest IMDb credit is Too Late with Adam Carolla.
Was he like? Did he do a bit?
I was gonna say
he was in 2 episodes and he was a voice.
Oh,
no shit.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I have no idea.
We should get him on the show for a glorious reunion.
What voice was he doing?
It just says various characters. So
wow, that's
Did
weird.
you do an animated something?
I can't. I can't remember all those bits. Speaking of that, Fast and Furious, you know,
Ooh,
9
2 weeks, yeah.
coming out in 2 weeks.
Oh, you have a countdown.
The better Paul Walker,
Right.
Rest his soul.
Yeah.
More talented thespian
Yeah,
Paul.
what are they doing with him this time? Are they recreating him or the twin brothers?
It's a hologram.
Right.
I don't know. I don't want to know. I want to enter fresh into the theater. But his Supra from the first Fast and Furious movie is going up for sale.
Wow. Oh, boy.
And they think, I don't know, they don't know what's going to sell for. They think somewhere between maybe $400,000 and $1 million.
I would guess more. That's probably a decent bargain for what is now a very well-known film franchise.
Yeah. I called Chris Morgan. I told him, the guy who started it all. I go, you better buy that car. Get that Supra, man.
Is he interested?
It's going, he sort of laughed, but I think it's going down this weekend in Vegas.
We'll look for it.
We'll see.
Trust me, we'll be tweeted about it.
Nobody has any estimates, but after James Dean's his transmission sold for $385,000, who the hell knows?
Here's a word I learned from you. What's the reserve?
Oh, I don't. All the cars, no reserve.
What?
In Vegas this coming weekend. It's
Why?
a full no reserve auction.
That's crazy. No holds barred.
So who the fuck knows what this car's going to go for?
So finally, last but not least, number one of the box office for I think the third week in a row, A Quiet Place Part 2.
Wow.
It is.
Seen it.
It's
Still
excellent.
number one?
You never seen number one?
No,
I love
this
number
is
one.
still number one at the box
Yeah,
office.
And I
according
still
to the
haven't seen the
estimates,
part 2, yeah.
the estimates again. We're recording this on
Oh, right.
Sunday, but it has it edging out In the Heights by like $200,000. So it's virtually tied.
They're tied.
This is an excellent movie. You can imagine
Yeah.
no clips. This is a very quiet
and no
movie.
script.
It's
essentially.
exceptional. That's funny you mention that because John Krasinski is a legit talented director. Like the action in this movie, I don't mean like bang bang action. I mean like just the way the camera moves, the way the actors and the creatures move. It's artful.
You know, it's funny. That's not exactly indicative of his talent, but just indicative of the fact that he loves the stuff. Did you know that in the opening of The Office, all that B-roll footage, John Krasinski shot that?
Oh no shit.
So you can tell he just kind of likes doing it.
So this is the first movie to cross $100 million since before COVID.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
it's been
good.
put off how many times? 3 times?
It was supposed to come out in March of 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
Enjoy it because Fast 9's coming for you, biatch. Oh, man, they'd be devastated at $100 million.
So Quiet Place 2, did you see it?
Yeah, it's good.
It's actually, yeah. Quiet Place 1 for me was a 5-star movie, and this is a 4-star movie. Still very good.
Yeah, it was kind of, it has that thing where the first movie, like Jaws or whatever, you don't need to see the creature that much. It's so much suspense. And then when you reveal the creature, then kind of like Aliens or something, then you have to see the creature. But the more you see the creatures, the more they become, I don't want to say
familiar.
Well, yeah, familiar is a word, but I'm
less intimidating.
I'm trying to think of. So the first Alien, you couldn't kill the alien.
Mm-hmm.
The second ones, you could kill the aliens. There was just more.
There's so many of them,
you know, and I'm trying to think of the word where you can't die, but I don't know.
Invincible.
Sort of invincible.
Indestructible.
Yeah, invincible. That, but I'm still looking for the word. I'll figure it out in a second. But the point is they're never quite as good because you see the villain too much, and they kill
mortal.
the villains, and you can the only part of this movie that spoiler alert, but at some point they went somewhere and they found some more human beings.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really figure out how that worked. Like,
Why?
Because
it's pretty well explained.
Maybe I wasn't.
They were living on an island, right? Like an island.
The island was fine. It's how they got to the island.
They took a little boat.
Yeah, but they showed up and there were a bunch of human beings on the dock.
Well, I assume they lived there because there were already structures and houses there. That was clearly.
No, I know they lived there, but I mean, why weren't they being killed or hunted or what were they doing?
Well, spoiler alert, if anyone's listening this far, the aliens hate water and they couldn't get there. So it was only by virtue of the fact that one of them was on a boat that the tide dragged in that they got to that island.
No, I understand the whole island part.
Oh, sorry, what are you confused
I'm talking about where they got the boat. There was a bunch of humans there.
Oh, on the docks.
Yeah,
Crazy.
who were those humans?
I had read in the Wikipedia description they were like almost like feral, like they had gone.
Max pat is nodding his head because they're the same.
Kaylin and I had this exact discussion walking out.
I thought you were talking people on the island.
No, they found the human pod.
Yeah. They were just kind of marauders, I guess.
No, but I'm saying, like, why were they allowed to survive by the creature?
They're quiet.
They're quiet. Same reason Cillian Murphy survived.
That part seemed weird to me. That whole
it was a convenience of the plot. Yeah, definitely.
Other than that, I'm into it. I just couldn't figure out what I didn't know if they struck a deal up with the creatures or they had dominion over them or whatever it is.
So I actually have a theory. So the one thing we don't know is where the creatures came from, what they're doing here, what they want. They don't eat the people. They just thrash the people.
Right.
My guess, my theory, fan theory, is that they were sent here by another alien race to wipe us out so they can take over. Because these are mindless killers. You know what I mean? They're not here to like take over the world.
So look for the quietest place next year.
Absolutely. I think it's already in the works.
Oh, it's got to be. Sure. All right. Let's bring her home.
Go out to the movies, everyone.
Hooray for Baldywood!
I don't know if I like having the same concerns that you and Kaylin have, Chris.
Yeah, I know.
about
I'd be worried
movies.
too.
Doesn't bode well for you.
But that was the only part where I was kind of like, what? Who's this? That scary little girl. What was her story? All right. I'll tell you about Hyundai Tucson. Hyundai questioned everything to create the best Tucson ever. Every inch of the all-new Tucson's been completely reimagined, resulting in an SUV loaded with innovation inside and out. From design to technology to safety, every aspect of the new Tucson has been improved and completely redesigned. Digital key allows you to use your phone as a spare key. Also, it's got a 10.25-inch full-touch infotainment screen. LED daytime running lights stylishly hidden in front of the front grille. It's a beautiful SUV. The price point is very low, and it's a ton of truck for the money. I know because I sat in one for a long time and I mussed with that touchscreen, and it's all there. The technology is through the roof, performance, safety as well. You can learn more at Hyundai.com. That's Hyundai.com. All right, we'll take a quick break, come back, play that Rotten Tomatoes game right after this.
Now, a life tip from Sensei Adam.
So, you're a teenage girl, and you've decided to keep a diary. Here's a tip from the Sensei. Buy two. One is a decoy to be left at the top of your sock drawer, filled with laments about hand-holding and only getting a B+ on your Spanish final. The other, you keep duct tape to the bottom of your nightstand. It will chronicle your reckless, promiscuous descent into hell. Hajime.
This has been a life tip from Sensei Adam.
Zach Galifianakis must have been a guest on that show.
Yeah.
And look at you jumping that bamboo stick.
Oh, yeah. I used to have hops, like Eric Stromer's son. Eric Stromer's son is like touring with the National McDonald's All-Star Basketball, whatever.
Of course he is.
And he's like 6'7", and he's got a 40-inch vertical, and he's been dunking since like the no, you've seen he's been dunking since like the 7th or 8th grade. And now, I mean, when you're 6'7" and you got hops, and he said, oh, his head's at the rim. His head gets up to the rim. I'm like, that's insane. It's like, oh yeah. So now Stromer is doing this thing, which you have to do now, which is you have to essentially quit your job for a month and then just go
tour with him.
I just dropped Natalia. Natalia they have 2 and like 3 practices a day for volleyball. Like, you got to drive us, then you got to pick us up, then we come home for an hour, then you got to go drive us again, then you got to pick us up. I mean, this is when they're not, in Vegas. And then there's a whole thing tomorrow about like colleges coming out. This whole it's a whole thing where they get them young now. They start. Stromer's son was like being recruited. I don't know how much you know, Max Zapata, but I mean, probably about the 8th or 9th grade. I think he was being recruited to play at colleges.
Is that allowed?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I guess so.
Wow.
It all feels a little Michael Jackson-esque to me. But yeah, that's the new world order. Like contracts and sneakers and colleges and groups and scouts and
Wow.
stuff and early.
So somebody's coming to chit chat with Natalia?
They're having some sort of group of college recruiters are watching the volleyball practice.
Oh,
I don't
nice.
know. I don't know how far it goes past that. Yeah. So I was talking about the Man Show, so I had to stop and then kind of reboot. I didn't want to hear about this college recruitment bullshit. We got to live in the past, the glorious past. All right, we got the game, Dawson.
Listen to that noise. It's a high falsetto voice. It can only mean one thing, and you can feel it.
Dawson names are flicks, and the gang makes their picks, guessing if it's rotten or fresh.
If they guess it exactly, we'll get a bonus 5.
It's the Rotten Tomatoes game. You know how we do it. Give me the Rotten Tomatoes game. Now it's time to play it.
So what's that you're saying? Last week's LGBTQIA plus themed Rotten Tomatoes game wasn't gay enough for you?
Oh, we're going gayer.
Well, worry not. It's still Pride Month, so this week we're doing an even gayer list of movies.
Hey, we have days and we have months. Does anyone get a week or 10 days? You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Because I could do the Pride thing for about a week.
There's Shark Week.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Pride Week.
If they add 20 more letters, everybody could get a day.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
It doesn't get much gayer than our first film, which tells the story of a gay Austrian fashion reporter making his way across America. Of course, the film stars Sacha Baron Cohen, features a giant swinging cock, and climaxes with 2 dudes stripping and making out in a cage fight in Arkansas. After featuring cameos from the likes of Elton John, Paula Abdul, and Ron Paul, it was released in 2009, and it's called Bruno.
This one kind of gets lost.
Is Ron Paul's cameo? I don't think he willingly participated, is what I'm
he
saying.
did. He was angry.
I enjoyed this movie.
I didn't like it as much as I like Borat.
No one did.
Yeah, as a reminder from Chris for Gay Pride Month, I told pre-op board up Bill to call us. I don't know why. There's a weird thing about jokes that makes everyone laugh. Is it's not. I just said, call your dad and tell him you're gay, and he's like, I told him I was gay. Call him and tell him you're gayer, and it makes everyone laugh every time. But I don't really know why. It's not really a joke, but there's something about it that
It's
makes
great.
everyone laugh.
What
and
would that
also,
entail?
it's comical to tell them you're gayer. I saw this. I don't think I saw it in the theater. It got a little homoerotic for me.
A little.
A little. Well, Borat got a little homoerotic too, but it was all in good fun. All right.
There's a focus group scene where he's trying out his new TV show, and it doesn't go well.
Oh, that's the greatest. You mean with the little kid?
No, that's like the Oprah type show.
That one's genius.
I'm talking about where he's like, remember his interview with Harrison Ford?
Oh, right.
It's like, Harrison Ford, fuck off. That's it.
All right. I think the critics are want to like a movie like this, but it's going to kind of get compared to Borat. I'd kind of like to watch Ali G myself.
Yeah.
Is that Ali G?
Yep. That was his first character that we came here.
I say they liked it because of the theme of it, but they didn't love it at 71.
Oh,
I have 71 also. How about that?
I could be way off here. I thought this was a big dip from Borat, and I think it would be reflected in the score. 55.
Bruno is fresh at 67.
Okay.
All right. Oh, the audience has it at 41. Yeah, see? It's my critic thing.
Homophobic.
Next, we have an epic Western featuring 2 cowboys who share a tortured secret love affair. Directed by Ang Lee and starring Jake Gyllenhaal and Heath Ledger, From 2005, I wish I knew how to quit you. Brokeback Mountain.
If you can believe it, I've never seen this in its entirety.
What?
I've only seen scenes from it.
Yeah, I've never seen it either.
Oh.
Is it good?
It's good. It's overrated, but it's still good. There's some great moments.
Was this pre or post Behind the Candelabra? I think pre.
Well,
That's
pre,
why
yeah.
everyone was so up in arms. Oh my God, two huge, home, box office celebrities, gay.
Mm. All right. Well, this was nominated, and it's kind of look. Critics love this shit.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna love this shit. I will guarantee that the critics' score is fair clip higher than the people's score in this one. That would be my prediction. It was all people talked about.
It was a big cultural
Kind
phenomenon.
of a hate crime to give it a thumbs down. So for that, I go 88.
Oh,
Went a little higher at 92. This was the favorite to win Best Picture until Crash kind of snuck up and took it.
which was
That's one I've never seen.
really.
Yeah, it's the last Best Picture winner I've never seen.
Wow. I must be jaded this week. 84.
Brokeback Mountain is certified fresh at 87%.
Ooh, or am I right on the money?
People are just a little lower at 82. All right.
Next, we have a film adapted from a Pulitzer Prize-winning musical set in the early 1990s. The story features a group of impoverished young artists struggling to survive amidst the growing AIDS epidemic. The film stars Rosario Dawson, Taye Diggs, and many original Broadway cast members, including Idina Menzel and Anthony Rapp. From 2005, Rent.
There's a great joke that was going around on the internet saying something like, "You're not really gay if you don't know how many minutes are in a year." And you guys don't get that.
No, I do get that.
I know the song. All right. Well, now, critics love this shit. On the other hand,
Tony winner?
sometimes when they go from Broadway to the silver screen, they get punished.
Gina, have you seen this more or fewer than 11 and a half times?
Fewer.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Including the play?
More.
What'd you think of it, Gina?
The story in general or this particular film?
This film.
For anyone, okay, I know you love when I do this, and it's totally true. The stage show, 1,000,000,000 times better than this movie. And I know people who truly loved the theatrical production were wildly disappointed in the movie. And but for the masses, maybe it was good enough.
So here's an interesting thing. If a movie like this just came out as just a movie with no musical before it, it probably gets some good that-a-boy points because of the
it's
theme.
Compared favorite. Oh,
Yeah.
But if it's coming off something we've already celebrated,
Right.
then we don't really need to celebrate it
Right.
because of its theme.
Right. Well, and that's why Hamilton was brilliant, because we were watching the stage show like we were an audience member.
Right.
And that was beautiful. By the way, this story doesn't age well, the premise. Like a bunch of entitled white kids they don't want to work and their lights get shut off. And so they got to stick it to the landlord who's just trying to keep afloat.
I'm going to say they didn't like it that much, but I'll go barely rotten at 56.
58.
62.
Same
Whoa.
thinking.
Rent is rotten at 46%.
I should have gone with my gut. It's
The
fucking
audience has it at 83.
unbelievable. It's a terrible movie.
All
Huh.
right.
Feel free to say that next time.
Didn't I?
Our next film stars Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo, as you've never seen them before.
Oh, yeah.
Too long
As
to
three Manhattan drag queens on a madcap road trip across America. From 1995, To Wong Fu, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar.
This is a great example of a movie that I have no idea what it's really like, because I saw this at like prime Gina for a long time. So I love this movie. But was it good, or were we just so ready for some
was it
camp?
good?
I don't think it was good.
We were so excited that this movie existed.
It's got to get some points to have, Swayze and Snipes and the sort of height of their action, whatever, going full drag. But I don't think it was considered, and I don't know what Tu Wong Fu is.
You have to see the movie.
Okay.
I'll also point out that Swayze was on the downslope of his career by 1995.
But this came out right after Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, so there was some hype for this type of genre.
I don't remember hearing this was a great movie, other than the title sort of got everyone going, and the sort of novelty of it. But I don't.
God, I don't know if this is even fresh or not.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go rotten at 49.
Barely fresh at 61.
Barely rotten at 58.
Tu Wong Fu, thanks for everything. Julie Newmar is rotten at 39%.
Oh, but the people, 71.
Yeah.
Oh, this hurts.
Our final film epitomizes the term cult classic. Initially panned by the critics, the film has since taken off a life of its own as a midnight movie and live show where drag-wearing Shadowcast
I quit.
mimes the actions on the screen. Come for the time warp, stay for the transsexual alien finale.
This better be The Room.
Tim Curry, Susan Sarandon, and Meat Loaf star in 1975's The Rocky Horror Picture Show.
And don't forget, Susan Sarandon singing her heart out.
I think it's the first movie I ever hated.
Oh, how dare you.
I think I saw this in a midnight showing at the UA 6 in North Hollywood that I've talked about before, like the first multiplex. And we went to the midnight showing, and they had a handful of people like singing and doing the whole participation
throwing
thing.
stuff at the screen.
And then there was a dude who sat in front of us who were just angry at them. Like, quiet down.
You want to enjoy the sanctity of the film?
He treated it as if he just went to a movie.
Oh my God.
He was unaware of all the cult stuff.
And this party broke out.
And there's a whole thing. I mean, there must be bootleg films of the people reacting or how they reacted. It wasn't just doing the dance.
It's very
it was like
interactive. You throw
talking to the
toast,
screen.
Spoons or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, cult classic that you'd kind of think that the critics would like because of the theme and stuff, but was
so
it
many times.
Was it good? I mean, was it a good movie? I think I have a slight lead here.
Do.
I can't imagine the critics shitting all over it, but I would not be surprised if this thing was somewhere in the low 50s, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was in the mid 80s.
I'm with you.
Lot of room. And is it just a really shitty B film that?
Yes.
But with a lot of music, good
a lot
music.
of music.
It's I would call it campy.
There's a light over at the Frankenstein place. There's a nobody. Touch it, touch me.
I got no love for this
I wanna
nonsense.
be dirty.
Do you know any songs from the Silver Platters?
Yeah, I know all of them.
It's time to change.
You
It's
got
time
to
rearrange.
rearrange who you are and what you gonna be.
Okay.
Why am I surrounded by people who have nostalgia for terrible things?
Yeah. All right.
I don't know what to do. Hold
I don't know what to do either.
on. Okay.
I'm go home, wash Manchurian candidates, and cleanse my palate.
I'm gonna try to protect my lead at 65.
Okay, I went for broke because I know this movie was poorly reviewed at the time. I'm sure good reviews have come in since then, so I went 39.
Oh, in honor of the film, because I truly don't know what the score is, I went 69.
69. The Rocky Horror Picture Show is certified fresh at 79.
Whoa!
And the people have it at 85.
It's almost a good game.
Gina Grad.
Yeah, I love the genre.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
You are on the podium.
Thank you.
Bald Bryan.
Ugh.
You are also on the podium.
Barely. I'm falling off.
Yeah, a stiff breeze would push you off. You got an 83, man.
Rough.
Adam Carolla coming in with a score of 39.
Ooh.
Really crushing.
Yeah.
Bald one, leaving us. Gina Grad firmly on the podium.
I don't know gay shit.
Gina Grad. Congratulations to Adam Carolla
Damn it.
because you got second place at 60.
Wow. Quite a lead.
You know how we do it.
Well, I tell you what, you wish you'd take some of those points and roll them over to the next game, don't you?
Yeah, I love that.
I love that in baseball.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, they're up there 10 to 1.
When they win 13 to
boys,
2,
save some of this for tomorrow.
Yeah.
They say that?
Oh, yeah.
Afraid so.
All right, let me tell you about Stamps.com. Why? We still going to the post office and paying full postage. Stamps.com. You can mail and ship anytime, anywhere, right from your computer. I've used Stamps.com for over 11 years here. We send out merch, we send out books, we send out paperwork. We use it all. We have the scale and everything. Whether you're a small business sending out invoices or an Etsy shop, shipping orders, or just navigating hybrid work life, Stamps.com can handle it. Over 1 million businesses choose Stamps.com. Print U.S. postage for any letter, any package, any class of mail, 24/7 at home. Plus, up to 40% off of post office rates and up to 66% off of UPS shipping rates. They got a no-risk trial offer. 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale, which I think goes up to like 80 pounds. No long-term commitment. Just go to Stamps.com, click on the microphone top of the homepage, type in Adam. That is Stamps.com. Enter Adam. All right, take a quick break. We come back and do the news with Gina Grad right after this.
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking viral. Weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden. Kamala. Meet news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
The Benjamin Netanyahu era is over in Israel. NBC News reports that after 12 consecutive years in power and another 3 before that, the country's longest-serving prime minister will no longer be its leader. The new government will now be sworn in, led by Naftali Bennett. Interestingly, Netanyahu's former protege and right-wing leader. He will serve as the next prime minister, holding office for 2 years. Then they will hand the role to Yair Lapid. He is a centrist of the Yesh Atid party.
Benjamin's been in power. I don't know that much. What do you think of him? You like Israel?
Well, he's very, very conservative. And a lot of people who have thoughts about a two-state solution, or at least, who feel that the Israeli settlers are, taking, displacing these poor people who, have no reason to be displaced, hate this guy because he is the ultimate, pro-Israel sort of screw everybody else. But a lot of people are going to miss him.
I feel like when your neighbor is Canada and Mexico.
Yeah. You can afford to be a nice guy.
You can be a nice guy.
Yeah.
But when your neighbors are everyone in the Middle East, I don't know. I like the guys like a little more Giuliani and a little less Cuomo or a little less Garcetti or I want the guys with a little bit of a hard ass in there.
Right. And a lot of people who were very pro-Israel weren't huge fans of Obama. I can tell you that much. A lot of Jewish people I know and knew really because of that specifically was just like, whoa, like, you don't sound like a friend to Israel when you talk like that.
Well, we do have a thing where we have this thought that does work if you live next to Canadians, which is, hey, you be nice to them and then they be nice to you. And then you guys have a good neighborly situation going on over there. And some of that in Mexico, too. So we kind of, in a weird way, we're sort of geographically spoiled, but just look, we get along with Canada. You got to be nice. They got Alex B. Keaton over there. You got to be friendly, which is a good thought, right? Because it's like diplomacy,
right?
But if everyone is fucking nutjob bloodthirsty killers, then you got to get the Iron Dome going,
right? And let's pretend for a minute that that's happening in the United States. Yet the United States is the size of Rhode Island, the entire country.
Yeah, my thing is, I like Jews. I don't feel like Israel's the problem in that region, and I feel like all they want is a very little postage stamp of land, Lean beef.
It's a matchbook.
That's the way I
and
think.
so the guy who's going to take over is essentially, it sounds like Netanyahu 2.0, and then the reins are being given to a centrist. So it sounds like the politics are going to remain the same, but it'll be interesting from afar anyway. A Delta Airlines flight from LA to Atlanta was diverted to Oklahoma City Friday night due to an unruly passenger who ended up being subdued by other passengers. And there's a twist, and I will show you the video. Video shows passengers piling on top of this dude and apparently holding him down. The captain even reportedly said, "All strong males come to the front of the aircraft to handle a problem passenger." Apparently, the suspect, who may have been an off-duty flight attendant, was going up and down the aisle telling people to sit down. He got on the intercom to tell everyone to put on their oxygen masks. The plane was met by law enforcement in Oklahoma. Not immediately clear where, whether he was arrested or not. Here's some video from the inside of the plane with the man yelling as he's subdued.
Got to get that cage from Con Air in the back of the plane now, man. We're getting to that point. That's right.
He's screaming like crazy.
Please scream what is going on. That's my favorite.
And look at that able-bodied gentleman that just wants to put it on TikTok.
Well, somebody's got to hold it.
Take their seats right now, with the exception of this group right here.
Everyone needs to take their seat?
With the exception of this group right here. Because I want to put restraints on this guy.
Flight attendants in the back are bringing them.
Yeah.
Now,
psychotic episode.
Yeah, but this is, how many times are we going to report this? In a typical year, they see 100 to 150 formal cases of bad passenger behavior. But since the start of this year through early May, they said that has jumped to 1,300. An even more remarkable number since the number of passengers has been so low since the pandemic. So people are coming unglued.
Well, maybe people need to fly like they need to sort of exercise or practice the piano or something. You can't sit them home for 15 months and then tell them to fly again. Maybe a certain percentage freaks out.
But yeah, can't you?
I have no idea what's going on. There's
people slapping flight attendants.
Think about all the pharmaceuticals that are currently in production and being distributed. Like I feel like everyone's got something in their veins, and then
people aren't in the right mind.
We're going to have some sort of field sobriety test before people get onto airplanes now.
Yeah.
I don't even mean for alcohol.
No.
Just I think I don't know. I'm trying to think. I think we have to have them getting on the plane, and the person who's checking the ticket needs to step on their foot and see how they react. Like their fucking hands fly up, or they fucking take their shirt off and go, "You want some, bitch?" Right. Or something, or they go, "Excuse
I want to talk to the manager of the airport."
They start crying, or they start throwing down, then they can't get on the plane. We have to do something, or we'll get some kind of crazy drug sniffing dogs that can smell out crazy.
Smell crazy.
Or psychotic.
That's a good idea.
You weirdo.
Now, I don't know if Dr. Drew would agree with this, but there's so many rituals we have to do as we get on a plane. Maybe everybody gets a benzo. You get your ticket stamped and everyone gets a Xanax.
Yeah.
Just to take the edge off.
Companies will love that.
Yeah, an Inception. Everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
Right.
Not a bad way to travel. Speaking of not a bad way to travel, we talked about the Bezos, Blue Origin's new Shepard rocket that's going to space, and he invited his brother Mark to go with him. And we said there's still an opening bid for a third person.
$27 million.
You're way off. 28.
Oh, I didn't. Maybe with the VIG.
Yeah, exactly.
28 million won the auction for that seat. The highest bidder in the month-long auction will be joined by Jeff Bezos and his brother for the ride that's scheduled on July 20th. Unclear who the winner is. He's low profile right now.
It'd be funny if you spent $28 million and you're launching, and they're like, "Would you like the hummus box?" And you're like, "Okay, that'd be $7." Really? $28 million in
Couldn't
it. One of
cover
the
it.
hummus boxes.
It's a standard charge.
It's an 11-minute flight.
Wow.
Is that it?
That's it.
No shit.
Now,
from soup to nuts, from top to bottom.
I heard it was an 11-minute flight. Now,
Well, yeah, because they're going up, they're sort of getting out of the atmosphere, and then they're coming back down.
right. Boy, do you get space travel. Yeah.
But I'm saying they're not
going to
circling the moon.
No,
Yeah.
they're going up for 11 minutes.
Right.
That's what I heard. I heard 27, 28 million bucks. But a couple of things. Doesn't it seem like every third one of these rockets blows up on the pad? The batting average doesn't seem great. I mean, maybe I'm thinking about SpaceX, but it seems like there's a lot of failures.
Are you thinking like old school NASA?
No. These are the new ones.
I'm thinking
I know what you're
Elon.
saying.
I'm thinking SpaceX. But maybe they're not trying. They're trying to go and launch satellites and stuff. Maybe
Right.
this isn't as ambitious.
As far as I understand, a lot of the problems are with re-entry and landing. And number two, I think they're trying out new technologies. I think the ones that they're pretty good with are the ones they're
Well, this is a 6-person rocket capsule, but there will be 4 people. They also haven't announced who the 4th is going to be. The bid money goes to Blue Origin's nonprofit Club for the Future that aims to teach children about space and careers in science, technology,
Sounds like
engineering,
another
and math.
airport lounge I couldn't get into with my black Amex.
Space the future.
The Centurion guy said I could not Club for the Future, sir.
No. It's above your pay grade.
Now here's the question. They always say you have to go through training.
Right.
Like they got to train
Right.
to be astronauts, but aren't you kind of luggage at this point? Like you just strap in,
I think
go
it's,
up, your ears pop, you come back down.
I would think literally the training is, and I'm basing this on nothing, but like just make sure you don't like puke all over yourself. Like make sure you're acclimated.
If you boot,
you're fucked.
you're fucked. 'Cause
Don't
you
touch
can't-
that button.
Right.
In the VW Squareback I booted into when I was in high school in the back seat on John Tyler's sweater, we could roll the window down.
Right.
You can't do
You
that.
can't crack a window.
You can't. Well, you can, but you're gonna be sorry.
No doubt.
Where do they take off from? Are they in French Guyana? Or are they somewhere around the equator?
I think it comes down over there.
They try to get launched. They try to launch somewhere around the equator because they get a little extra boost
Right.
from the rotation.
Did we talk about that at some point with Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Yeah, or somebody.
That they're launching from a company test facility near Van Horn, Texas.
Oh.
What are we listening to? Are we listening to
Brian's
something, Brian?
doing something.
Sorry, I was editing a drop.
We got a little bleed.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah,
A little
that's
bit.
okay.
Barely.
So tomorrow, as you hear this, California is moving, quote, beyond the blueprint, allowing businesses to ditch the social distancing requirement. and
Uncharted
capacity-
territory to where we were a year
That's right.
ago.
Capacity limits that establishments have been forced to follow for 15 months. So let me give you a couple of highlights. It's from Patch.com.
Are we the last, or is Michigan the last? Like, who is the last state
I always
to
just assume
open
we're
up?
last.
I like to think we're last and everything, but Michigan's. They got Gretchen Whitmer over there, though.
I
They're
think there's a
still
lot
pretty
of
locked
states that
down.
still have some restrict, not to the level of ours, probably.
I'm trying to think who's.
Well, she's just in lockdown because she want to get kidnapped again.
I remember when she was talking about no boating. No boating. Ah, no tennis. No boating. Okay.
And didn't she scoot on down to Florida with her daughter for spring break?
She went down to Florida, but she did this thing, which is all politicians do with their haircuts and going to Florida and stuff. Like, hey, I had stuff to do in Florida. Like, okay, that's what the rest of us have
Me too.
shit to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like to get our haircuts.
So here's a couple of highlights. Those who are fully vaccinated will be able to go maskless in most spaces, except indoor events with more than 5,000 people and outdoor with more than 10,000 people. But for those who work indoors, and especially for those who are unvaccinated, they'll be masked up a while longer. So whether, I don't know, you go in a fast food place or something, employees will still probably be masked.
I'm sort of, I'm going to fly in the face of my own ethos here, but I like this separation inside the restaurants. I hate it when they sit you right in between a couple.
Basically a four-top with a sliver in between.
Well, you think
it's like a banquette on one side,
Yeah.
but then it's like tables barely
You've
separated.
all gone to that sushi place where they sit you in the middle between the two
Yep,
tables, and
yep.
it's like it's a foursome here
Yes.
now, or sixsome. Like I can hear everything you're saying, you can hear everything I'm saying. I do like the
elbow
spread
room.
out, a little elbow room.
But they are hemorrhaging money that way. So we'll see what
New
happens.
Mexico has no date, by the way.
Yeah, so New Mexico.
Michigan is July 1st.
Yeah, Michigan's July 1st. New Mexico, they said 160% of residents are fully vaccinated. Oregon is 170% of residents are vaccinated.
That's shocking.
And then Vermont is July 4th, and Washington is June 30th.
If you were to pick two states that aren't open yet, would you pick New Mexico and Washington?
Washington State.
That's very like.
Probably.
That's not all Seattle. That's that's a rural folk.
Yeah, but I think politically it's all Seattle. I think. I don't know.
Pretty liberal state.
Everyone must be a Democrat, right?
Plus, that's where the outbreak in the U.S. pretty much started.
With the COVID, yeah, you're right, at the nursing home. And finally, two more. Dozens of emergency executive orders will remain in place for a while, but for the most part, they won't impact businesses or workplaces reopening. And finally, indoor areas.
What's wrong with Monday? You know what I mean? That's the same thing by kids' schools. Like we come back from summer break on Tuesday. It's like, well, I don't know. Monday feels traditionally like the end of the thing, and then we're going to start.
It's arbitrary.
I feel like the Tuesday just means we're thinking about it, or it's the 15th, or better than the 14th. It's halfway into the month.
I think it's halfway in the month.
What's the math? Why not just go Monday?
You know how they're really into doing things that are weird so they look more specific so we trust them more? And do you know how when you go to the doctor, you don't have to get on the scale? You could technically just tell them what you weighed when you were on the scale that morning.
14.
You always want to throw a decimal in there. You don't just want to say 150. No, you 150.4.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this is this situation.
It's like they're thinking about it. Yeah.
I heard in the news, and I'm not sure if it was just California or somewhere else, but I heard in some story that there are only 2 days left in the school year. And if that's true in California, that would mean Tuesday school's over. And that may have something to do with it because they can't open up the economy and still have kids in masks in schools.
Yeah, I thought it was over.
Maybe
but
that has
right.
to do with it.
Schools should be over, but maybe not everywhere.
Well, to Dawson's point, indoor areas of airports, train depots, seaports, bus ferries, those all, you'll still have to wear a mask. Also, California's mask mandate will not be lifted on June 15th at K through 12 schools when students and staff are together indoors. So we unclear what September will look like.
They got a lot of demands about coming back after the summer break about, more rules, more unions, more shit.
When do the kids go back to school? Because it seems early. Our little guy in the middle of August.
So the way it used to work is you'd get into June, like the middle of June, right about now. This when summer would start, and then school would start in September.
Middle of September.
And they somehow slid it all over to May and August. But it's kind of dumb because it's the summer break, and it's August is summery as it gets.
Yeah,
and
use that June gloom to your advantage.
It's weird going back in the middle. And also, the schools I went to were built like the 20s and the 30s. We didn't have central air.
That's what I'm talking about.
It was brutally hot in those classrooms.
September is rough.
September's rough. August is rough. I mean, you want to get,
And also, my only other thinking, though, this is just a theory, that they're having them come back a little early to make up for all the sitting around on the couch Zoom school.
I don't know. I'm done participating in education of any kind when it comes to my kids or anybody's.
Well, we have...
after a rich history of participating.
That's right. After years and years.
He's done his due diligence. We have some Meghan and Harry news, but it's because we have some hot Meghan Markle's dad video.
School is not what it was because of the smartphone, which is if you're interested in something, you'll just devour that subject. Like, Sonny's walking around spitting out stats all the time, basketball players and stats and things and stuff because he's into it. The stuff you ain't into is going to end up like your mom trying to force you to play the violin when you're 13 or something. Like you might pick it up, you might do it, but it's gone by the time you're 25. Like you don't, I mean, I like this. I like the notion of learning things, and I like the notion of learning things you may not be interested in. But I don't know. I mean, think about the phone, think about the computer, just think about the information that we have access to. It's not the same paradigm as it was when we were young, where it's like, this is the place, this is a book, that's where you get your info. That person knows the subject. I mean, think about all the YouTube videos and all the podcasts and all this stuff. Like, when I was young, Miss Commissar, the history teacher, she was the expert in history in the entire land. And we had to go to her.
And the book had everything about history.
And we had to get knowledge from her or the book. Those are the only two places we're going to figure out about history.
It's funny you should say that because there's been a lot of talk about critical race theory and who's for it and who's against it. And it's funny because I think about this all the time. In our textbooks, they were so whitewashed that there were things I didn't learn about till college or till like a couple years ago.
Oh, but
so
think
who's
about,
in charge?
But think about this. Your kid, my kids, anyone's kids, growing up now, are going to have masters in critical race theory simply by being in our society.
Yeah.
I mean, every time you turn on the news, there's a discussion of race. You turn on Bill Maher, you turn on CNN, you turn on whoever, pro, con.
Yeah, very educated, well-rounded.
You're in the middle of a critical race theory tornado that's 24/7 that never takes a day off.
Nope,
so
you're right.
They're all well aware of everything.
No, you're right. That's true. Let's cleanse our palate with a little bit of Meghan Markle's dad. TMZ reports that Thomas Markle says he and Prince Charles have one thing in common. They've both been ghosted by Meghan and Harry. And he's not a fan of Oprah. And he kind of calls Harry a cuck in his own way. Here's a clip from his recent 60 Minutes Australia interview.
I think Oprah Winfrey is playing Harry and Meghan.
To go.
Oh, Dad. I think she's using them to build her network and build her new show.
She needs all the help she can get.
I think she's taking advantage of a very weakened man and getting him to say things that you just shouldn't be saying on television.
So you think Oprah's seen, I guess, the frailties of Harry and Meghan and decided to then cash in on that?
I think so. Now, she'll disagree, of course, and she might even sue me. I don't care. But the bottom line is it seems to me she's working Harry.
Is that really bad green screen?
Maybe. I mean, that was with Australia, 60 Minutes Australia.
Max Patta, do we have Harry with the Oprah, that old clip, calling everyone a racist? Yeah.
Remember what he wore to Halloween that year?
Oh, what?
Did
he wear a Hitler costume
Yeah,
or
he wore like
something?
an SS uniform.
I'm glad that everyone's done something. Sorry, this is from him and Oprah a couple of weeks ago.
They have that new Apple TV show together.
That feeling of being trapped within the family there was no option to leave. Eventually, when I made that decision for my family, I was still told, you can't do this. I was like, well, how bad does it have to get until I am allowed to do this? Well, she was going to end her life. It shouldn't have to get to that. Do I have any regrets? Yeah, my biggest regret is not making more of a stance earlier on in my relationship with my wife and calling out the racism when I did. History was repeating itself. My mother was chased to her death while she was in a relationship with someone that wasn't white. And now look what's happened. You want to talk about history repeating itself? They're not going to stop until she dies.
Wait a second.
Jesus Christ, how the fuck can you go through life this way? Like, you're a fucking royal. You're a royal.
I think you answered your own question, right? They're detached from reality. In just
I guess so.
Ways.
What a way to couch what happened to Diana. They were chased until they were killed because he wasn't white.
That's
he
right.
was one of the richest men on the planet, and she was the most famous woman on the planet. Everybody wanted a picture.
Yeah, I know. And by the way, she would have been chased if she was with John Lithgow.
That would have been a story.
Yeah.
Maybe even hard. Maybe with more vigor if she was with John. I was just trying to think of a white guy.
Yeah.
Contemporary white guy.
Didn't get much whiter than John Lithgow.
That's a good white guy call.
Very.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, so now he's... we're living in a weird time when you just play that music and then you have people that are royalty talk to Oprah about how scared they are and about how bad their life is.
Well, and it's funny because, the royal family made no secret about how much Mr. Markle was not invited to be a part of their family, the wedding, anything. And now he's trying to buddy up to them. He's agreeing with them, saying basically Harry's a cuck and sold out his family.
Can we get him together with Randy Quaid to start a podcast? Because I'd like to produce that.
I'd love that.
That would be awesome.
That's a great idea.
We'd call it Maybe from Canada. And they would just all I would do is open the USA Today and just shout out, hey, here's what's going on with Biden's economic. Just go. Let's go. I'll just shout out what's going on. That's right.
Real good.
Just step back.
That's real good.
I don't know if you've seen this video, but 4 women were rescued out of a boat that got caught hanging over a dam in Texas on Thursday.
Ooh, I love these videos.
This is crazy. You can play it while I talk about it. Austin police said an electrical-powered boat rented by the 4 passengers got stuck near the dam without enough power to get out, and it is teetering over the side. Adding to the drama, the spillway was open because of a recent rainfall. The boaters initially contacted the rental company, but the company sent a rescue boat and said, we can't help you. So we got to come back with something more powerful. A helicopter crew lowered life vests down and then attached the boat to a police boat with a rope to pull the boat back into the open water. And none of the occupants were hurt.
Oh, too bad.
They probably would have made it. It was about a 5-foot drop. But
no, it was bigger than that.
The drop?
Let's see it again.
Kind of tough angle, but I don't think it would have.
It wasn't Niagara Falls.
They would have fallen out of the boat and got fucked up.
It sucks. Yeah, I mean, maybe we'll go 10 feet.
All right, either way, two of those chicks are hot. By the way, if you got on the squawk box as the person who was dropping the life preservers off via the helicopter, would you have a couple of extra words about you should really take the fucking life vest before you leave the pier? You shouldn't count on helicopters. It's clearly posted throughout the dock.
I'm kind of shocked.
That I didn't even know why they let you rent the boat or get on the boat. Maybe it's a California versus Texas thing, but there was no way there'd be an optional. They'd have to be on the boat.
Deregulation.
They'd have to talk to you about it.
Well, that's not really freedom if you can't get on the boat until the vest is on.
Well, listen, I'm Darwinian if you want to do it, but then we're not saving you. Well, we'll save you. We're not dropping you down.
Right.
Something you should have had on before you left.
Yeah, you can take the dip and then we'll get you.
That's interesting. Yeah, I wonder if they just ditched it or they just went fuck it. I mean, it's like I've done a million boat things where they go, you got to wear your life, but you don't do it. They just tell you got to do it.
How about muster on the cruise?
Yeah, muster.
Muster, yeah,
muster's
on the
the worst.
cruise.
But they didn't even have them on the boat.
That's what I'm saying. That seemed weird.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I was on the squawk box of the helicopter, I would have added some choice words about dropping life jackets down.
By the way, this is a little bit of a non sequitur, but have you noticed that now it is official when we talk about signs at beaches and signs at pools, there is no pool that doesn't have the sign about active diarrhea?
Yeah, that is weird.
Yeah, I've heard that.
It's universal now.
Yeah, I've heard it with stand-ups.
Oh, really?
Because could you imagine a stand-up staying at a hotel, doing a set on a Friday night, then Saturday going and walking around and hanging out by the pool, seeing the diarrhea on the sign and not having that work into the act that night? Impossible, right?
I think the first place I saw it, unless I'm going insane, was in Costa Rica.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I was like, oh, this is hilarious.
If you don't have active diarrhea, get out of the pool.
But how many parasites have claimed people in pools that we've had to put up that sign?
Gina, be prepared to be correct. Chris is seeing that the dam is 36 feet. So what we were seeing is a 5-foot drop and then the
Big Dipper.
The big after that, which wasn't in the shot.
I do feel better.
Now that is scary. Ooh.
And they're from out of town, like they didn't know. I mean, I guess the locals know you don't drift that far or whatever, but that is a pretty terrifying picture.
Yeah, but they got them. They saved them. And 2 of them were hot.
Yeah.
All right, shall we bring it home?
Let's do it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news. Now give us your opinion,
Yeah.
Mr. Chronic Masturbator.
Gina Grad.
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Last but not least, Hyundai Tucson. Every inch of the new Tucson's been completely reimagined, resulting in an SUV loaded with innovation inside and out. You can learn more at Hyundai.com. That's Hyundai.com. All right, Golden, Colorado, Buffalo Rose coming up this Friday, Saturday. Maybe a couple of tickets left. Kyle Dunnigan is going to be on Saturday. Loxy's going to be performing as well, the pre-cocktail party. So Sonny's making the trip, so come say hi to him in the merch department. He's like, I made you an extra $40 in the merch department.
Oh,
and I was like,
upsell.
yeah, your ticket was $800. That's the kind of dad I am, right?
It's good. No, you got to.
So I'm only $760 in the hole.
You got to recognize.
Thank you very much.
Discrepancy.
That's right. Also, Anchorage, Alaska Coots. That'll be July 3rd. It'll be just stand up there. And go to AdamCarolla.com for all the live shows. And until next time, Adam Carolla for Gina Grad and Bald Bryan saying mahalo.
When it's time to change, you've got to rearrange who you are and what you gonna be. Sha-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Sha-na-na-na-na.